Hey, it's Carrie Flatley here for this week's Friday Fire at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and Carrie Flatlin Associates. It's that time again. Update on the Lethbridge market. So we are here on October 22nd, so I thought this is a good time to kind of do a market roundup for fall. We're in our final quarter of 2021. It's been a historic year for Canadian real estate, and Lethbridge is no exception. So I'm just going to hit the highlights. You can always contact me anytime, 3827-335, to get a better understanding of what's happening for your house in your part of the market in Lethbridge, because remember, Lethbridge has submarkets, right? So price point and location, right? A 300K house in North Lethbridge versus what's happening for a 300K house in West Lethbridge, and then all the other things that go with market value, condition of the home, the way it's situated on the lot, floor plan, all that kind of stuff. But these broad market statistics give us a great indicator of which way the market is trending and how that's going to look going forward into 2022. And there are some interesting things here. It's all good news. And a word or two of caution. So for October, it's amazing. Our inventory still remains quite low in the city of Lethbridge. Now, the numbers I'm going to rattle off here are year-to-date numbers to the end of September, because month-to-month numbers don't give you a sense of trend, right? We want to know the cumulative trending impact throughout the whole year. So from January to September, that's what these numbers are reflecting, and it's for City of Lethbridge only. I do not look at board numbers because I don't sell houses, 100 miles away from here. I focus on Lethbridge mostly. Right now, we have about just over 2.5 months of inventory in the City of Lethbridge. Now, to put that in context, that means if you lined up all the homeowners with their houses listed waiting to sell, it would take about 2.5 months for all those houses to come off the market and be picked up by buyers. Usually in October, and usually in Lethbridge in general for the last many, many years, we've had more of a buyer's market, a softer market, and more than 4 months inventory. 3.5 to 4 months is what I would market. Usually we're sitting on a lot more than even that. So this is incredible if you're a homeowner. But here's the good news if you're a buyer, because it never fails when someone calls me about buying a house, and maybe they're not from here, and they're concerned about the hot Canadian real estate market, the hot market in Alberta. Am I going to overpay? The short answer is no, you are not going to overpay. And here's why I say that. To put it in context, up until about 2 years ago, average house price in Lethbridge across all types of properties, residential, was about $300. Well, now the average house price is $318. So that's not a huge increase. People, even in competing offers on a 320, aren't paying 30 grand over list price. They're certainly not paying 50 grand or 100 grand over list like they are in the GTA or in some other metro centers. So you're not going to overpay. And the other reason you're not going to overpay, because first of all, we have very affordable real estate, as I'm showing you, but the second reason is it's a lot of catching up. We've had a very stagnant real estate market over the years, stable, but prices were stagnant. And so now the builders have pulled back, the inventory's coming down, there's not as much stale inventory, there's not as much new product on the market, so you're not competing with your own builder putting up a new house just down the street that's just like yours. And so there's less to choose from, and all of that's leveling out now, and we're finally getting some of that much needed, much deserved increase on market value. But it's not inflated, in my opinion. We're catching up to where we should be. The Lethbridge market, and I've said this for years and years, is a stable market because our economy is diversified and stable, and we do not have the dramatic ups and downs of some of the metro centers, especially centers that are very reliant on, say, commodity prices. So you won't see the big swings in value. The chances of your property just suddenly like crashing in value after you buy it, I just don't foresee that. I mean, I guess look at what happened with the pandemic. Nobody can predict the future, but you know, this is a very, very safe place to put your money. And in fact, I would argue Lethbridge is the bright spot for real estate in Alberta and maybe across the country. So no worries about that. Now, the one caveat is we are seeing fairly aggressive inflation right now in Canada. I think it's at about 4.4% inflation rate was just announced a couple weeks ago. And that will impact the real estate market. But most importantly to understand is that if you're thinking about buying a home, interest rates on a mortgage could start ticking upward in 2022. Now there's debate about how long the Bank of Canada is going to wait. But I read today somebody was saying they don't think the Bank of Canada is going to be able to wait till the back half of 2022. So we can't predict interest rates any more than we can predict the future price of real estate. But you know, they are so low. I think really they can only go up from here, especially now that we're seeing inflation in Canada. The cost of everything's going up. Energy prices are going up. Costs more to fill up your car, and it goes down the line. So that's kind of where things are at with real estate. I think the other interesting thing to know is that, you know, we have a tighter market here than even the average in Alberta, right? So when you take all the numbers from Calgary, Edmonton, that kind of thing, Lethbridge is one of the hottest markets in Alberta, and yet you can still buy a property here, a nice property for very, very reasonable price. And you know, just to give you an idea of what the Alberta market looks like, you know, average house price almost $430,000. Average price in Lethbridge is $318,000. Like, huge difference in affordability, right? Months inventory across Alberta, 3.3. Well, it's only about 2.5 months here. So we have a hotter market, but you can get more for your money. And that's really the takeaway here. It's a great time to buy. Get in before interest rates go up. Very affordable here still. And it's absolutely, without a doubt, a great time to sell your home if you've been thinking about selling. This is as good as it gets, you guys. So there's nothing to wait for. If you have any questions at all, you can reach me by phone, text 382-7335. Or of course, you can visit me anytime at carrieflatla.com and reach out that way. In the meantime, have a terrific weekend, and we'll see you for next Friday Fire. Take care.